going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we have an absolutely hilarious video. At some point in time, we're just going to have to make a series on YouTube of Mark Rubin clapping back at all these people in the community over on Twitter. It is absolutely hilarious. But once again, Mark Rubin coming out with absolute factual information. I want to say putting people in their place, but at the same time, it sounds a bit rude, but it's true. The man really is putting individuals in their place. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. Mostly Xdefiant right now, but of course, once Black Ops 6 starts trickling out, we'll discuss that a bit more. And as you guys know, I do kind of enjoy Modern Warfare 3, so as new seasons come out and new content, all that stuff, I'll probably be discussing and covering that as well. But, if you're interested in any of this stuff, by all means, subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, we will be live today over on Twitch. So if you guys want to catch me live and in action, chat it up with me. We'll be live around 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. And you guys can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. And also, I did forget to mention, I think today, it might be Tuesday. If it's Tuesday, then this video right here that you're listening to is going to be postponed for Thursday. So, if it is posted on Thursday, just know the commentary is kind of scheduled a little bit differently, and this was recorded on, Tuesday, so on and so forth. But I don't think the update's on Tuesday. I believe the update is on Wednesday, and this update is going to be a pretty juicy one. I'm not sure what's going to make it into this update, because I think behind the scenes, they said they had to split it in half between this week and next week, but you can anticipate some B-hop changes, netcode changes, sniper changes, so on and so forth. So it's going to be a juicy one. So obviously, like I said, I'm going to be streaming today. So if you guys want to watch me test out this update before we make some content about it, tune to the stream. But guys, let's get into the actual topic of today's video. Man, oh man, Mark Rubin is he's not holding back on absolutely anybody on Twitter anymore. I have a post right here of an individual who is claiming, the team balancing is just absolute garbage when it comes to Xdefiant. As you can see, fix the team balancing pixel of Mark, showcasing, the score across the board. They're obviously at the top of the leaderboard with 7,800 score, 49 kills, 27 deaths, 6 assists, so on and so forth. But then he has a teammate that went 3 and 33, but he still had 3,100 objective score, along with his other teammate who went a little bit negative, 25-31 with 2,600 objective scores, so on and so forth. But, I just thought it was hilarious because Mark Rubin responds saying, "What do you think is wrong with this team balancing? Your teammates were actually trying to win, but you blew it for them. Look at your objective score. Team balancing is 50-50 chance to win, and this is pretty insanely close." And then he responded saying, "I don't know, Mark. Maybe give me a teammate that doesn't go 3 and 33. OBJ doesn't matter if you can't get kills." Where Mark goes ahead and responds saying, "Objective is the only thing that does matter. He did better than you, period. If you played the objective half as well as they did, you might have won." Now, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be honest, I am mixed about this overall scenario, but at the end of the day, I still 110% agree with Mark, Honestly, he should have played more OBJ, and I'll explain later. But I have to say this too, because it's a lot of people out there who think just mindlessly throwing your body onto the objective is smart. Sometimes it's not. There's a reason in competitive play you have OBJ players and you have Slayers, because the Slayers are supposed to assist the OBJ players to help them be able to stay on the OBJ longer. And if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that person who went 3 and 33 on that team would have I promise you, would have not had 3,100 objective if it wasn't for, the person who was complaining about team balancing going 49 and 27. Again, I'm not defending this activity, and again, I'm going to further explain why. But if we're going to be very realistic, yes, you do need Slayers. You do need people to frag out from time to time. And again, that score that individual got who went 3 and 33 would have never, ever, ever happened if his teammates were not actually fragging out. Because if his teammates weren't fragging out, how's the guy who's going 3 and 33 going to be able to cap anything? If that guy was playing solo trying to hop on, he would lose every single engagement, right? So the only reason he was able to play that objective is because others were trying to hold the enemies back. But this is where it becomes a problem. And again, Mark is completely nailing it here. The game mode that they're playing, they are indeed playing zone control, which is an OBJ game mode that, yes, you do want to have Slayers who are pushing back the opponents, but at the end of the day, you all have to unite and play OBJ together. Now, in other scenarios like Occupy, for example, which is pretty much hardpoint, you don't need 3, 4, 5 people on the OBJ. It's a complete waste of time, space, and honestly, you're just setting yourselves up to get completely fragged out by a singular frag grenade or a cleaner who drops a Molotov or something insane like that. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Then you all die, and then they get control of the Occupy zone, and then you guys have to scramble and figure out how to gain control. No, when you play Occupy, you want at least like maybe 1-2 people on OBJ, and the rest of the team need to set up good defensive positions around the perimeter to hold off choke points so the enemies can't get to the people on the OBJ easily. And then as people on the OBJ get plucked off one by one, you start to rotate. So if you're defending the right flank and you see the OBJ gets picked off, you rotate back, and then one of the teammates from the spawn go, they retake right flank for you, and then you play OBJ. If you die, you're out, you go to the respawn, someone else on the right flank or left flank comes and picks up the OBJ. You get the point here, you cycle it through. You're not all supposed to play OBJ. Same thing with domination, It's useful in the very beginning if you have enough people, hopping on because you cap it faster, but realistically in domination, you want to dominate map control. That's so crucial. You want to dominate map control. So yes, it is useful in, tense situations where you need to cap really, really, really fast. Maybe it's the end of the game and the score's close or something like that, and you need to cap super fast to get it over with. Yeah, I could see, 4, 5, 6 people hopping on the B flag. Or, maybe it's, I don't know. Usually for me, when I'm playing with a lot of sweaty players, it's like a couple of people who might hop on the B flag, unless you really want score like in Call of Duty and you want your streaks faster, then yeah, more people hop on B flag to get that score. But competitively, no. You want people to set up on your right flank, left flank, hold different angles, hold choke points so you can cap the flag easily and not lose these flank points. Because yes, if all 5 of you hop on, you might be able to cap B flag super fast, but then you have 5, 6 opponents who are literally flanking you on all angles who will easily swarm you guys, kill you, take over B flag, and still have full map control. You see, map control is key in these scenarios. But bouncing back to what they were playing, they are playing zone control. Game modes like zone control and escort, it doesn't matter how much you frag out. You're not benefiting your team. You need to play the OBJ. Zone control, when you're hopping on the zone, it's not like a domination B flag where a couple of people can pick it up pretty quickly. No, you need to literally sit on that zone for a hot freaking minute. And the more people that are on that zone, obviously the faster it's going to go. So yes, fragging them out is good. Keeping them in their spawn is good. But at the end of the day, you need to be capturing those zones as fast as freaking possible. As fast as possible. It takes all players to unite and be able to, basically get this goal done. Same thing in escort. The escort drone moves literally 5 times as fast if you have 5 people sitting on the escort drone compared to just 1 person pushing it. And again, yeah, it's good to have, a few people up fragging out, keeping them in their spawn so the people escorting the drone can move up. But in a more competitive environment, you're going to want the majority of people pushing that, that drone, and maybe having, one guy going back and forth, hopping up, fragging out, coming back, hopping up, fragging out, coming back, and keeping that momentum going on here. He, on the other hand, I don't see much. Yeah, he's fragging out. He's doing his thing, but if we're going to be realistic here, the person under him, Holeless, I'll show the image again, got more damage than he did. They put in more work and still went negative and got more OBJ score. Again, proving the point that they could have probably actually won this game. They 1,010% could have won this thing. What do you notice about the enemy team? What do you notice about them? They all have equal OBJ time, besides the bottom player. The bottom player is a little less, but across the board, I would say they're pretty good. They're not too shabby. They all got pretty even OBJ, which means, yes, they were fragging out. They had players who did just as good KD-wise, 41-21, 45-22, 44-23. But again, they're all on OBJ. Even though they're fragging, guess what? They're still playing objective, right? They're still on it. They're not fragging out, holding spawns. No, they're all on the objective because they know they need to capture it as fast as possible. And the same thing should go for the person who posted this image here. Yes, fragging out's useful, don't get me wrong, but you need to match your teammates' objective score. Honestly, you need to get more objective score than they do. If it really comes down to it, playing a game mode like Zone Control or Escort. So ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story here is play the frickin' objective in Xdefiant, please. This isn't COD. It's not based around score or kill streaks, okay? The fun and enjoyment comes out of, doing well within the game, seeing yourself improve, and even winning. That's where the enjoyment factor from this game comes from. And you can't say that's weird because many other games do it too. Rainbow Six, that's the enjoyment factor. Overwatch, that's the enjoyment factor. All these games have that enjoyment factor in both casual and ranked play. People enjoy that stuff, so we have it here in Xdefiant, but you have to be willing to step up to the plate and actually hop on that OBJ. But at the same time, I had to make it very clear that sometimes it's smart to work the OBJ and not always blindlessly push on it, right? You always got to think twice about that stuff when you're playing a game with like domination or, hardpoint, basically, occupy. You want to think about this stuff before blindly pushing out. But again, in games like zone control or escort, stacking bodies on the OBJ only improves the experience and gets you further. You just got to know when's the right time, the right time, the right place to play heavier OBJ or calm down a bit on OBJ. And once you gain that knowledge, you are set. I promise you. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in more content, I do stream over on Twitch pretty much daily. You guys can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.